There we go. Okay. Welcome. Let me click a few buttons here. Make sure everything's actually set up. Cool. Okay. Yeah, welcome guys. welcome. Yeah, hi. Azamat? I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly. Thank you. Enjoy. Welcome. There we go. Alright. I didn't just wake up half an hour ago. I didn't try to in a storm, just trying to get everything going. Alright. Luckily I had everything set up last night, so I was able to just sit down and turn everything on. Turn on like on 10 different applications. Boy. I'm doing good. But yeah. My sleep schedule is still really bad, and now the daylight savings is coming. That's not gonna be fun. Yeah. Dakota. I should get some more juice so I can wake up. It's really just, it's apple juice. Oh, I got the low voice morning voice. Great. Alright. We should have fun. This is gonna be... Oh, yeah, thanks. This will be a little different from last week. Doing a little something different here. I'm gonna try and wake up. Alright, hi guys. Let's see, where's my buttons? There we go. Okay. Whew, hi. Hello. Happy almost nearly until St. Patrick's Day. Because I know that St. Patrick's is on Friday, so that means if I do a stream on Saturday, that means that I'll be late. So I can have time to work on this and do some other fun stuff later. I kind of have to do this early, so and then that Mario Day was yesterday, and we're gonna do some Mario content coming up. Hopefully next week. We'll see about that. Still gonna do some final preparations for that. But yeah, that means that though we're closer to Mario Day than next week, it's like I can't really. It's a weird flip-flop. So hopefully that makes sense. That's why I'm doing this now, and then later I'll do Mario next week. So yeah, let me just click. There we go. Okay, cool. So how we doing? Yeah, work has been really exhausting me. I feel yeah, a little drained, a little empty. There's a lot going on at work. I finished a lot of my work for next week. Actually, a lot of that stuff has been completed, so I started working on like 2 to 3 weeks later work. And so my boss was like, hey, we need help in the back during the assembly of it. So usually I just design it. I design the plates, but now they want me to come back and give another hand to actually assembling the whole trophy. So yeah, that was a lot of labor. So kind of came home and just got really tired. Hi cartoons. Yeah, lately I've been just kind of crashing after work and being like, okay, and then I stay up and then wake up early and then do a lot of work and then come home and be really, really tired. So probably need to work on that. That's probably my biggest thing I want to work on. Daylight savings isn't going to help any of that. So yeah, right, lose an hour now. I get less sleep to, yeah, but otherwise I've been doing all right. Yeah, we've just been hanging out and been working on the game. The game has been progressing well. Hi, Jed. Maybe I can show like a little bit of progress on it in toaster time, but yeah. Otherwise, it's about the same. It's not gonna look radically different. It's just like, oh, I did some behind the scenes, programming work, and oh, I got the sound effects channel to work. That's what I was struggling with last week. I was like, how do I have the voice beep 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 boops sounds and have a sound effect of like a kind of sound at the same time? Like, how do I play them at the same time? And Renpai was like, I can't do that because you only have a certain amount of channels. And like that little diagram that I had, where I had different boxes, and it's like, oh, okay, I go like these many, that means I have to like make a new channel, and then these can actually play at the same time. That's actually how it worked. And so I solved it was to literally make a new sound channel, and then it's like, oh, okay. I was gonna go into like how, like the NES has a certain amount of channels, and old school, retro consoles really only have a certain amount of sound capabilities. Like one channel is just for like sawtooth style sounds. So it's like, okay, that means that the sawtooth can't really do more than that, and also can't play more than just that. Can't play two at the same time. So it looks like I can probably add as many sound channels as I want. I just found the correct syntax for it. Was the biggest thing of like how to write out add new channel of like renpi.sound.register_sound and then type whatever I wanted. It's like just finding that part out was the tricky part. So got that. So now I can play. I could probably add another channel and then I can have 2 to 3 more, sound effects going at the same time. But that's what I wanted with like the music, was that I wanted to have MIDI fading, so you could have different musics going at the same time, but like only have one of them on. You can only like really hear one, and then it would fade out that one and then fade in another song, but the songs would be similar enough that when you fade one in and one out, it'll seem like it's the same song but just like playing different instruments. But I think I changed the sound, the musics that I composed. Like Izzy's song compared to like Pitch's and Sparky's music is actually so different that it's like, even if I fade in and out, it actually won't really sound good. So probably have to give up on that, but it'll just fade in and out literally, just to turn off one sound and then turn the other one on, and then it'll start from the beginning of that new song. So oh well. Anyway, let's get in here. We're back to Adobe Animate. I wanted to say Flash. It's Flash/Animate. Whatever you're used to. I'm used to Flash because I've been calling it that since the beginning. But yeah, this is the program where I started. This is where I started animating. So it's nice to come back. Now I've kind of graduated all the way up to Toon Boom. It's like I started to play with this last night, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember all the weird stuff. We'll get into just like how not fun animating in Flash is. Toon Boom is like objectively way better in animating. But I will get there. Hi, Spooky. Woo. Hello. Yeah, let's just jump right in. Maybe I should I could make like a quick sketch. Oh yeah, even 1 second in, like the first operation, I was like, I want to move the timeline, up and down. I want to scroll it so I can only see a certain amount. Like try to just move it down so I can see less keyframes. I undocked it accidentally. So let's just, yeah. Let's just have to click a button of lock the timeline, and now I can't do that. Jeez. Turn it up a little. Okay, let's do a sketch. Yeah, so usually, in Toon Boom, I usually play with, animate stuff on the timeline or play with a node view. Flash is limited to just the timeline. There is no node view, like those little boxes that are colored. And it's like, oh, I click on one of them and then like have the noodles connecting to each other. that doesn't really exist here. You can make some parent-child connections somehow in here. Like it'd have little lines that connect like the blue one to the orange one, and have a little line, and then create some parenting system there. It just doesn't really work that well. Also, there's some issues that may induce a seizure, so it was like, probably don't want to play with that, even if I wanted to. Even if it's a cool feature, it's like it had a bug where if I started to move things around, it would start to then shake the screen violently, of like doing this but like 10 times faster, and I was like, ah, jeez. It actually hurt to watch. I was like, great. So yeah, but I did try that system for a couple episodes with Derpy years ago now, but none of it really helped that much. It just more just made it seem more animated. How I animated eventually into Boom was like that system. So yeah, let me just kind of, this will be my kind of warm up now. Oh, don't got my buttons on the side, so I can't like click that. All my tool buttons are gone. I don't have my rule of thirds either. This is so bad. Is the music really low? Let's see if I can. There we go. How you guys doing? Let's see. Hope you're well. Yeah, I haven't animated in Flash since just gonna have a big stick. Since I worked on the movie last time. I was like I'm working on chapter 7, don't you worry about that, but it's just yeah. Got too busy with the game, you know, I kind of prioritized that. So I haven't been working on the movie since I started the game. So it's been like a couple months since I've used Flash. Also, I'm just trying to warm up my hand. I haven't drawn that a bit. We'll see. Excuse me, how this goes. This is my quick storyboard stage here. And then they'll be running some sort of background. So it's my sketch just to get me going here. I have to like manually click on that. I have to manually say like I want to lock it, otherwise it's gonna move around. Just relayer it. Yeah, I really want my rule of thirds. Got a locked background. So the story of this one is that Derpy is like St. Patrick's. It'll be like the original story of Derpy being St. Patrick, and she'll be getting the snakes out of Ireland. So I was like, well, either I create the snakes, you know, recreate the entire system, the puppet system that I have for these snake characters into Boom, and have like the animations and all this, and have different pictures and stuff, or just go ahead and I already have all these assets already made in Flash. So I was like, well, let's just whatever. Let's just go back to Flash and just animate them here because I already got these all set up. And I was like, do I really want to recreate them and also animate them just for this, you know, this project? I was like, yeah, because I got everything already set up. You know, everything is already its own element. So, yeah, I was just like, I'm just gonna be somewhat lazy and just be like, I'm just gonna reuse what I got. So, I did, Deadpool. And Railfan, welcome. Thank you, Deadpool. Am I doing okay? Getting the morning tiredness out. Hope you're doing well. Right, so in Animate, you're gonna see me like double click, and then you get to see like a different timeline. And if I double click again, then you get to see a different timeline. That's because I've set everything up to be symbols. Let's turn this down a little bit. So symbols are important to understand in Flash. So if I have a circle, fill it in. So right now, because it has this little pattern, it's a little hard to see, but it's got this, like, moving around a little. Like the inside of it has this, like these little dots that kind of show it. Also says that it's a shape. So if I convert to symbol, beep, symbol 1, whatever. Now it says a graphic. So instead of it being a shape, it's now a graphic symbol. And so now it becomes this object now instead of just a shape. And now I can do a whole bunch of fun stuff with it. So if I double click inside, it changes the timeline. And now I'm inside of the symbol 1, and I can go back to that shape. And if I wanted to, you know, erase this section, I can do that. But if I go back outside and then try to erase that section, it actually doesn't work because I'm on the object view instead of able to manipulate and change stuff on the, I guess, the DNA's level. Negative. Yeah, I was gonna have a big hat, but I thought that'd be a bit much. So it's a little tiny, little shamrock. But yeah, if I wanted to rotate this, I can do that. But if I double click inside that, it also can rotate. But if I had, you know, like another shape on top, like that. So I have 2 layers, but they're both 2 shape layers. If I double click outside, I can then kind of rotate it like this now. But if I go inside, I can individually change the rotations of each of these shapes now. But if I go back on the symbol layer, the object symbol layer, I can move both of them at the same time. So it helps when you want to command line, make things, putting them in things into a group or like a cooler or something. Yeah. That's actually in my frequently asked questions, so if you check out in the description, I explain it a little bit better than how I'd probably explain it right now if I had to. A lot of stuff is in there. Also, the rules are in there, so I encourage everyone to at least read through it once. I kind of update it every time for whatever software I'm using at the moment. So, yeah. Let's see. I got these guys, so now I can start animating. Oh yeah, so if I have like, there's probably like 50 or so different symbols going on in here, but I'm able to rotate it on the outer level, so it's like the entire character level. Then I can go inside. So now it says scene 1 and then plus Derpy. And then I can now manipulate on any kind of object that I have on the symbol layer now on the most outer points of these symbols. But if I have like oh no, it's fine. It's great. It was a good segue, and I encourage everyone else to read it too. So it's all good. But because like the head like this, is made up of like 20 different symbols inside of here, why can't I move like if I know that I have like the mouth its own symbol and the eyes its own symbol, why can't I move the eye and the mouth at that point? At this point, where I should be able to select it because I'm inside of the horse, right? I should be able to, you know, move like inside stuff, right? No, this is an object that includes all of these different pieces. So I have to double click inside here to get to the head. Now I'm inside of the heads, and I can individually now click on these parts. I wasn't able to move the ear because it was on the outer side of the symbol, which would move all of the bips. But if I double click inside now I'm like, okay, now I can move the hair. And now I can do the mouth, which has a whole bunch of frames. And so I can like kind of quickly change them out when I need to. But I can double click inside of the mouth now and see all of the individual frames and animations and stuff. So I can do mouth swaps and do lip syncings or whatever for different things here. And some new ones there. But I also can change the frame that I can see out here on this level by changing what frame inside is what frame is being exposed. And so yeah, all these have little secret extra frames that allow for like blinking, which is just a frame change. That's like I change the artwork inside of there to get the frames, and then change the picture there. So most of these have different drawing swaps. So it's definitely a simplified version of Toon Boom, where it's like you can only really work on, you know, it's a lot of different like drawing substitutions rather than the crazy deformations, and like I can't really, you know, curve the hair, you know, move this point up and then curve it up, or like move that down. It's like you can only really move it on the like an object kind of level, where it's like it's only gonna, you know, from like one ink point is gonna stay, you know, and kind of move that kind of animation. So can't really like curve the ear, you know, wanted the ear to be here, but then if I wanted it to be like or like really change the profile of the ear, you gotta like actually draw it basically. You know, you can't really, you know, really select it and then like draw a new picture of that ear and then do a symbol swap or a drawing substitution to like change what's the picture that's being exposed at that particular frame. So yeah, I was gonna move the bag, but I can't. Probably want to change my one of these. Yeah, this view actually helps a lot more better, that I can see what I can select on. And that's the thing too, is that if I wanted to move the mouth and then quickly change something on the other snakes, I can't, because I'm actually not able to select them at this point because I'm inside of the head. So I can only select these pieces. I would have to go completely out and then go back in and then drill in is what I call it, where you like drill in and then you can actually then move these pieces here. I wouldn't be able to move the hair until I'm inside of the head. So you get to a point where it's like you just gotta really focus on like one character at a time and like really, you know, just kind of move all the way through the timeline and then, you know, animate one character, then go back and then do the other character. So you can't really just pop back and forth easily, otherwise you have to drill pretty far in, move the mouth, drill out, go to the other character, drill in, drill out. You know, you're doing a lot of like much more than you would have to. Like in Toon Boom, everything's freely accessible. That if I wanted to on character 3, you know, move the mouth and then go back to character 1 and move the mouth, I'd be able to inside of Toon Boom. But in Flash, nope. If everything's, you know, if everything's on here, like on the same level, I'll be able to move the bag and delete it if I want to, and then move the head itself. But yeah, I've had some puppets in Flash that have like everything kind of exploded on the timeline, where I could have the mouth accessible on the same level as like the hoof, so then I can quickly move things around. But the advantage of being symbols means that I can then move these 20 different symbols all at the same time and then rotate and then have all of that move without having to select every single piece and then try to select pieces there and then move it all. So there are goods, but most of it is not that good. Let's see. Probably wanna... I'll keep the hat, but I'll just hide it for now. So I'll make it a guide. So it still exists and I can still see it, but if I render it and export it, then it won't. It basically just won't render, is what it'll do. So I want to change the hair to not have that hat shadow, and then I want to change the shirt here. So I have different versions based on like I needed her to like sit, so I needed a new picture, or like sit at a different angle. So I wanted to change that. Let's get a nice green shirt for her. So I'm gonna select that color. Problem with having it like this means that I can't change, because it like whites out, and if I actually select it from like this color, this like eyedropped color, it's actually this color. If I wanted to have like color it the same color, it's actually going to be a slightly different color. Then I like eyedropped while I was in a different, I'm just selecting the body right now, but if I select this eyedrop color and then try to match it up to the rest of the skin, it actually changes it. So it's like I have to then go my preview mode. I'm just showing like how not programmed well a lot of this is. And then if I do it, then it's the same color. There's so many things like that. That's like, there's hundreds of tiny things like that. That's like, you don't really notice if you're like really working on it. And it's like, you're actually trying to make like cartoons as fast as I do. It's like, geez, I have to. You find all these things that's like, geez, let me do this, and this will work, and then turn it back off, and then do that. No. See, I should have known that this was a symbol, and then I can go inside it, and now I'm playing with it. I want this color. Okay, that should be consistent. Those I don't need at the end. But I kind of got around with like having different deformations by having a whole bunch of different pictures, individual pictures that are just literally just having the arm kind of rotate. Otherwise I would have had like the bottom arm, the hoof, be its own thing, and then I would animate it like this. But I find that it's actually a little bit easier to get consistent results of it rotating is to do this trick where I just kind of have like every conceivable, pose for the hoof, and then have it go back the other way, and have all these exact frames that I need. And then on the outside, if I want to rotate the arm, I could just kind of change the frame of it rather than actually animating it, I guess, by having to rotate the bottom of the hoof. So that's kind of like my secret way. I don't think I have too many here. I have a couple different poses of the back leg. Do I have wing flap? So that's getting important. I might have to go into a different file. This particular puppet might not have wing flap. Hey, alright, cool. So I went into the library that has a list of every asset that I have, all the symbols. So this is just a paper derpy folder. the snake, one of the snakes, and then it just lists like every symbol. It's everything that I converted into from a shape or drawing into a symbol is all in here. So what I needed was my DP wing flap. So I can drag that from the library and then beep. Now it exists in the stage. Fortunately, they're actually on the same layer. So I have to like make a new layer, cut that, paste that into a new layer. So I can have both. But this one's actually different from this one, as this one only really shows that it's open. But this one's actually animated so that it can flap. Now let's do a loop playback. So this is the one that I've animated. That's basically just the one drawing, but it just kind of goes up and down. And so now I can use this and swap it out when I need to. Let's just hide it for now. So she's ready. I guess I can make her stick as well. Let's see. Does it have a little... Maybe I can... Actually, I think my idea was that it was going to be like a twig. So this will be DP stick. So already converted into a symbol. Probably it's so small I have to like click in it. Like that. Let's get a brown. Trying to design some sort of stick here. Line it up. Try to erase some bits so it'll look a little nicer. It should be a little bit less. Maybe I can have it a little bit towards the top. It just kind of goes out a little bit. Yeah, that's probably better. Actually, I could take this drawing tip here. I should just mold that in. Here we go. Brighten it up. Blah. Let's smoothen it. Smoothing should remove some of the anchor points. I'm going to add detail, so I'm going to do it on a new drawing layer. I can do some of these. Make the points a little smaller. I got stick. Let's see. I want to add the black outline, but I think that might be tricky. So I wonder if I can set this actually to a movie clip, which has its own bunch of features. I'm wondering if I can just do one of these, like a glow, set it to black, like no blur, maybe just one blur. It kind of creates it, but it's still kind of blurry near the edges. There's probably like 100 different ways I could have done that. Like I probably could have just gone carefully around it and figured that out, but it's like, You gotta figure out what you want to do, what you really want to spend your time on. It's like, no, this will probably work and probably just be fine. Whatever. I can render it and see what that looks like. But because it didn't send the wing Ashley the guide, so Ashley still exists, and so it's gonna just do its animation. So this is the animation preview. What it'll really look like, but yeah, I mean I can still preview it inside of here, but there's some things like movie clips that are advanced graphics that sometimes don't show the animation unless it's actually rendered. This will be fun. So I can do this where I can draw a circle on one frame. And then draw a square, or let's try a triangle. So I have different drawings. I think I might have messed up on what layer was what. Okay, there we go. So we got stick, circle, and triangle. So what should happen is that it should be playing through those pictures, but oh no, you can't see that animation. Where's my stick? It should be playing because it's set to loop or something, but it doesn't actually show loop for whatever reason. But what if I start export the animation and then here's my animation? So there's times where it's like I have to do an effect on a symbol that have like a drop shadow or a filter or something, like change the color. And the fun part is you can't see the animation unless you export it. But how do you know if it's right as you animate it? Like, what if your position is correct? You don't. So you either need to set it to be like a graphic until you're ready to add the filters. But if your filters are so important to the effect that you're doing, it's like you have to really work it to actually make it work. So it's like, come on. So even though I have all these animations and it should be playing, like if I set this back to graphic, then it'll actually do the animation, but now I don't have that black filter on it. So I can go all the way back layout here, and I got the animation of what I wanted, but now I don't have my filter to actually show that what I want it to actually finally look like. So it's like a limitation of like old Flash style that it's like you can't, was it too much to render or something to show all of that at the same time? I think I lost my filter now. That did that too much. Oh, well. Oh boy, this is like 10 years of learning, Flash. And it's like you learn all these weird stuff. Anyway, hi, my little brony. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's see. Movie clip. Yeah, it's just like a lot of thousands of hours of like learning all this. So well, let's get going though. All right, so let's do our first pose. If I can grab this 1 pixel white there. So what I want is to figure out what this is. That's my stick. You have to really label these out, otherwise you get really lost because there's no node view to be like, just click on a random piece or like click on a piece here. It's like, I gotta know what these are, It's really important to really keep this organized. It's like probably like the most important thing I would say to learn all this. I don't need these. I just know what I need. Back legs. These are like for walking. I guess I can show them off real quick. So I have like these extra legs that are for different purposes. So like one of these has a walking animation in it. So if I ever needed to walk, I could just take this stock animation that I've made, who knows how long ago, and then use it inside of the timeline and then be able to animate it. So I have these already pre-built and already made, so I can just kind of use them when I need to. So I got the walk one, and I have This is what I mean. Like the old version of the legs was that I had to, they're in two parts. So I have like the upper and the lower part of the hoof. So I had to like perfectly line it up so like it looks okay. And then if I want the hoof to like kind of like raise up and be like, hello, I want it to wave. Because it's in two parts, I had to select both pieces here. But look, it put the anchor point of like the rotation in the middle. I wanted at the top, like where the shoulder would be. So if I wanted to raise her hoof, I had to like select both, move the anchor point towards the shoulder in a good position. This will always be different every single time you select it, because it doesn't remember that when you select to it where it wants you to be. So select both, and then you rotate it, and then you do something else, and then you come back, and it's like, okay. Let me just rotate it back, select both, move it, move the anchor point back to a position, and then rotate it down. Is it in the same place as it was before? Probably not. So, I could be your friend. Yeah, it could be platonic. I don't know. Yeah. Are you in the Discord? Are you in the Discord server? Would be your at there. No, it's actually someone I forgot to friend. I'm sorry. Couple of you guys. I'm just slow on it. But if I wanted to like have her hoof kind of move, I can rotate this, but it has to be an exact right spot for it to like look good. So I have to always kind of jimmy this around and then try to get it to be an okay enough spot. Whether or not it's actually in the right position for like an entire 360, it doesn't work. So you get to these points where it's like I'm trying to just move two pieces and it's just like this entire nightmare to actually animate it, and it's like, oh my, So that's why, you know, you do all these animations for so long that's like, okay, I need a better system. And then rather than, you know, just dealing with this for who knows how long, because I know I've been doing these for so long and doing these so consistently, I'm also trying to up myself of like, how can I do this better? That I made a different system that I have now, where it's just one symbol, and inside has, this might be a different version. Oh, there we go. These are the frames. So I have these different poses of what I need, and then outside, I can literally just move the leg over and then change the position there, and it's like, cool, great. Done, you know? But just to get to that point was a little tricky. The problem is that I learned from Double Frame Boom's puppets, which are arguably not actually the best to learn from, I would think. It gets you to a point where it's like it's an advanced pony system with the Double Frame Boom puppets that had like back in 2012 or something. I was like, yeah, these are cool. Now I know what advanced pony system rig looks like, but even back then, like the first time, like the first couple of animations I tried, I was like, this isn't actually good. Because I was realizing, like, wait a minute, I was trying to learn Flash at the same time, and it's like, wait a minute, the eyes were its own symbol. Like, all of the different pieces of the eye, like the eye, eyelash, cheek, and eyebrow, were one symbol. And so if I wanted to have a blink, it's the same thing, where it's like I can't select things from a different symbol. You can only manipulate things inside of the symbol that you're working with. So if this was one symbol, and if all of this was one symbol, I'll go back. I'll undo that later. But if I want to move one eye, I have to double click, drill in. This is the only thing I can work on. I can't move that other eye. So if I want to change the picture to like a blink or whatever, move the eyeball, I wouldn't be able to move the other eyeball at the same time. I would have to drill out, drill in to the other eye, select the piece that I want, get to the other piece, drill out, and then see, was that right? Did I time that out right? Was 26 was the one that I picked it on? Who knows? So I was like, just trying to play with that. I was like, wee, Flash, what are you doing now? We're in the null zone and negative zone here. that'd be good. Okay, get rid of the scene. Did I delete the scene? I don't know, I didn't really see that happening. Oh, there's the scene. I want to get to a point where that's that. Okay. So, now I'm in symbol mode, I guess, or edit symbols instead of the universe I was just in. What the? Anyway. Yeah, it just gave like a whole hassle of like, why are the eyes in different symbols? That means I can't blink. If I want to blink both eyes at the same time, I can't. If I want to move both eyes, pretend these are like pupils. If I want to move them like that, I can't move both of them at the same time. I can only move one. Then drill out, go to the other eye, move it, and then go back out and then see if I was right. So, okay. Just gonna clean up some other stuff here. What was I gonna do? I guess we can do her first pose where I'm gonna do her in a, not a mask, but a guide. Guide is just to hide the shadow, just like a little shadow underneath her, which is also a movie clip, but because it doesn't animate, it's fine, and I don't really have to worry about that too much. But I can start to get her into her flying position. So I don't think I'll have her actually on the ground, so I can actually guide my other wing there. Wing far. If I move that up, that's the closed wing. So I can actually delete that, because I'm not going to use that. And then paste and place this one. What I also like to do is get a brightness down. So this is actually like an object, a symbol filter, but it's not a movie clip filter. So don't get those confused. Where I can have these color effects and other type of filters onto a normal graphic, but it's completely different from this system of movie clip filters. It just happens that you can do these color effects, which are independent from whether or not it's a graphic or a movie clip. So it's like, geez. But it's different from these filters, which has these more advanced things that you can't really see. But they're like drop shadow, blur, glow, bevel, gradient bevel, and just color. But yeah, those are the special ones compared to the color effects, which brightness, tint, advanced, and alpha do that. Hope you're still here. Okay, thank you, my brony, thank you. Say awesome, thank you, you too. Oh boy. So now I can rotate the arm, and I can change the pose of it. So I want it to be up. Kind of get something like that. Probably then I'll have this effect now where I would have to either, yeah, it can still work, but it's gonna be awkward. Oh well. That'll have the same effect where I'll have like two pieces to the arm, which should be a little bit still kind of counterintuitive. Looks like I have multiple legs. I always have multiple legs. I just never delete them. I never go back to the puppet and actually delete those ones. But I just have different stock poses I've made over the years. I was like, okay, no, I'll probably need a leg. It's gonna be a little bit rotated, or I can go back in if I want a super advanced, you know, pose here. I can kind of make a new pose and then try to carefully rotate it up a little more and then clean up the drawing. You have to be very precise with a lot of this. Just to move like a couple anchor points is like doing high-end surgery of just trying to move like a couple points here and just trying to smooth it out. It's like, jeez, okay. So now I made that new pose, I can now expose it. I think they're duplicates, so that'll work. Okay. you may want to rotate the entire body. Okay, so that's how we do that, and then the wings flap. I'll move that down a little bit. Let me get sketch and guide it. So you can see the sketch here. So the sketch is here, and it's exposed, but if I render it, then it's gone, because I set it to guide. And guides just means that it's like a extra layer filter that masks it out when it renders out. So you can also see that they're blinking. That's because I set the blink symbol. Sometimes I have to drill in. The blink symbol is set to loop, which means that it's just going to play through every frame of its animation, and every frame of its animation is here, and so it has a blink, and then it only goes for like 35 frames, so every 35 frames she blinks. So all these little systems that, you know, help me set up so I can actually do, this is how I can do cartoons relatively quickly, is that I have all these puppets in there already set up in a way that you have these macro systems that do things on their own, you know. And it's like, oh, I don't have to think about making sure that they blink every scene if I set the blinking to loop in the scene, you know. So I don't have to like manually say, hey, blink in this scene. It's like, okay, if the blinking is set to loop, then it'll just automatically do it. So these characters a little bit less. They're not less complicated, but they have less pieces. They have less legs, less tails, and cutie marks and everything. So there's less stuff here for each character, but they get a lot of like complicated body stuff where I have to figure out the body mechanics here. So for now, I think I'll just kind of set this up so that you're at least in a good position. And I want to use a different, like I had that walking system. I think I want to set up my, so I have this, I'm just gonna put her into the scene because I want this body animation. In theory I could just use this, which, is that cheating? I mean, I already made this. I just want to like change her head animation and then be done. Because I want this animation here. And then I can modify it. I much just want to do that. You know, that's just, I don't know. Let's go on this layer. So this is an asset from the movie. So I've already set this up. That this is like a working character. I see. Yeah, this is like already like a shot that I animated for a movie, and so that's why she has different expressions there. It's literally from the movie itself. So let's just delete this animation and then set the start frame instead of 78, set that to 1, and then I have some hotkeys to be able to readjust the timing of it. So I just hit a button that resyncs based on the first keyframe number. So because I set it to 1, that makes these all back to the correct numbers. So frame 23 has first frame 23. There we go. And so now we got this animation already set up. I like my shadow though, so I can add that in. Let's see. Ghost likes me? I'm not sure if that's... I appreciate it. Sounds a little fun. Thank you. So that particular animation essence did not have a shadow, but I could just add this back in and then animate. So I don't think I did that for ice here. I could probably just go back in and find a file where they both run and then put that in. Should I just do that? Because I don't think I got that in. Yeah. Let me go do that actually real quick. I'm gonna look for my file for that. So, thanks for all the support, guys. I appreciate it. Is it because I'm working on the like derpy stuff that's like kind of activates it? So it was when I was working on the game. Was it that that it wasn't it wasn't good work? I don't know. Does this have it? Might actually be file 6. Oh boy. Hang on. I'm opening a big file here. Hello. $50 sometimes. Welcome. Names for the pony snakes are Ka is the female orange one, and Glaze, Ice is the male. I'm going to see whether or not I have an ice run. Looking through my file, this might actually not be. I have a walk one here, but that's not what I want. I want a slither. It's ponies. Okay. Let me open chapter 6. I guess I can show that one at least. Definitely not chapter 7. I want to keep things, you know, a surprise for you guys. You know, because if I just show my whole hand during, you know, animation and showing what I got going for chapter 7, then you guys might not be as interested. I think. I don't know. You guys see so many trailers and stuff. It's like you guys are so thirsty for trailers. And I was like, I want to keep things a mystery, you know, for a while. Because I could show this. So this is my storyboards for chapter 6. So let's see if this scene has what I want. There's a ton of stuff going on here. This was the point where I knew that the whole background is going to be 3D. So I can literally put wherever I want in different places, and then it doesn't really matter. Because I know that I'm just going to be having like this asset be its own part, you know, its own pictures, and then put that into a 3D scene. So don't really have to align any of these. And then Derpy's just like that circle just to save on some color memory. But I can use this animation, which is actually kind of not that great. I'm gonna see if there's a better one earlier than pony. Let's see if there's something in here. Yeah, there's a tons of like random stuff that's just like all put on here. And it's like, that's okay. Yeah, this is what the animation is like. But it's all kind of timed out, so it actually does kind of work. But these little dust things are just to have some small little particles going on. His arms are back here now. So I'm just inside of ice with his animations. He was rowing the boat and then drops the oars and then grabs his diamond, flips out, and then starts running. Wow. And saving there. So there's a lot going on. There's like a little storyboard sketch in the top too. That's like this little green one. It shows what I wanted them to do before I animated it. Then I just follow my sketch and the timings of that. So I have this. We have this. I have this animation. So I copied this body, go back into here, go into here, and then replace the body. I might already have it. Let's put it into a duplicate folder then. It's also recolored, so that's not gonna be good. Yeah, but these guys I didn't really actually spend more time on making sure that their puppets were the best. So for these, I didn't really make the arms into that one symbol system. So yeah, they're a little bit less easier to animate. Problem is that they're different colors, so I'm gonna change my color. So hopefully I only use this color once. So we find this color, replace it with this color. Context for the entire scene. Replace all beep. Replace this color with some sort of other lighter color, maybe. Let's see. Show me another. Here. Beep. Okay. These ads are overlapping, but in real animation they're gonna be layered on top like that. But if I click on it, then it goes on top. So it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that. Okay. Cool. How we doing? Well, now we got this. So I have to animate his head, but Kai's looking pretty good. Derpy's happy with its stick, and we're getting there. So this is sort of how I kind of just set it up, so I can obviously want to set up all the pieces that you know that you can reuse as much as you can first off, and then start animating and then realize that, oh wait, I need an extra arm, and start making new stuff after that, you know. Especially with these bigger projects that I've been working on, it's like I'm just gonna see how many things I can recycle before I have to make anything new. Save some time. What made you think to merge bonus and six for a space? Take bone. I wanted my first initial drafting of the script. I was like, I want to have some, you know, big stakes. I want it to feel like a real movie. In a sense that we get, you know, in every new movie, you always get new characters. Wanted to expand past the boundaries of Equestria. So we go from like Equestria to like this other whole continent, basically. And I was like, okay, someone needs to live there. We need to have some sort of conflict or some sort of delivery thing for Derpy to go, some sort of motive for Derpy to go to a different place there. Of course, what would be there would be a different place and different types of people and, you know, different types of horses and stuff. So I came up with the initial concept of I wanted the conflict. My initial real, like why I wanted to, was that I wanted to have the conflict of snakes versus mongooses. Or mongoosai. So I wanted to do something with that, and I was like, can I do mongoose versus snakes? And that was like my big inspiration was that. And so, and that came from like one tiny clip inside of the Pokemon anime of all things. I was like, okay. I just remember, you know, the Zangoose versus the snake. Yeah, Zangoose versus Survivor or something. Yeah, I was like, I wanted to do something like that. It's like they're natural enemies. So I was like, okay, let's see if I could do something with that. And so it's like I started to look into Greek and mythologies and stuff and see if there's anything remotely like that I can do for horses, you know. Let's see if there's anything I can do. It's like I found the Naga, N-A-G-A, which are half snake and something else. This serpent. I think it's half snake, half person, maybe. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Half snake, half person, but you ponify that it's a half snake, half pony. So I was like, cool, I can try that. So these became the Nagas of like trying to combine their different species together. Ugh. And so the mongoose are just mongoose, but they're just trying to fill out their find a design. So hopefully I'll get their final design someday. I made some turnarounds and puppets for them, but yeah, it'll just be trying to figure out the exactness of what I want for their final design and drawing them. But right now I'm pretty happy with it, what I got now. Let's actually set up auto keyframe. That'll allow me to move it and make a keyframe without me having to manually click make keyframe button. Need to know how long this animation is. It is 12 frames. So I just made a new layer to like create a frame to know when I can stop the the looping. A ladder where the previous reminds me of. Yeah, there's a lot of like inspirations everywhere of different characters like that. So I think, let's see, does it end at 12? So on frame 13 should be where it should restart. I may want to edit multiple frames, select everything here. I'm just trying to clean this animation up pretty quickly. Okay. Got that pretty happy. So now I can go in and animate these outer pieces. So I can either animate on the shape layer, or I can go out and animate it on here and have the timeline keyframes on the rest of the head. Or what's fun is I can make that hair symbol into a loop. And now it's a new symbol that if I double click inside, I get that same object here, that keyframe here. And I can then start to animate within here. Oop, bald. In between it. So I got this hair wobble animation, go outside, and then that wobbles. If I go outside, then it wobbles while it's animating. So you get these little fun things like that. That's like, yay. what I want to do is convert to keyframes, convert to frame by frame, keyframe every other frame. And then that sometimes works. But now it's like not on every frame, and so it should feel a little better. Unless it's not. Might have to get rid of some of these ones. Delete a keyframe here and there. I use onion skin to try to figure that out. Keep up the good work, thank you. I'll try my best. Ice hair, loop. Ice hair, neck, loop. Okay, so I'll do the same thing. Where instead, now the hair is gonna go back and forth like that. Convert to every other frame. Beep, beep, beep. So I get something like that, and then animates there. So I can then copy all of these, copy all these frames. If I know how to do that. So, oh, it's a different button than I thought. Okay. So I duplicated it. So now that should work. And if I resync my timeline with a special button, you can see if he blinks now. Because now his blink is in this amount of frames. But I also want it to be desynced with the other characters, actually. So now I gotta go back in and say to these blinkings, wherever you are. So I want to say to these blink and this blink, that instead of being here, I want to maybe make it like 6 frames later. Or actually, he'll blink 6 frames earlier, so he's gonna blink first. Blink, 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 blink. I can now do that with Ka here. And instead, I can probably just stop her from blinking for a little bit and then reset this back to like 1. Reset this back to, add a keyframe, revert it back a little bit. So we'll see if she blinks. Okay, good. And now, at least now, they should all blink at different times or so. Now they're all wiggling. Yay! And the fun part is I haven't really animated really yet. I haven't really made anything new yet, you know, but it's all kind of moving already. I guess I reanimated ices, but it's like, it's not really, didn't really do much yet. Exactly, yeah. That's exactly what I was going for. But that they were natural enemies, so I was like, okay, that's an interesting enough like in that hopefully people like you who might know about that then I can have that be like the background backbone kind of to the conflict. That's like, okay, well, why are these, you know, if you have like 2 aliens and it's like you don't really understand like what's their beef with each other, but if it's like it's more relatable, that's like it actually has some sort of real world like history, that then it's like, okay, because I have no dialogue in my movie, you know, I had to like sort of explain everything through literal pictures, you know, of all of this. So I was like, I have to make something at least if I can have some sort of common knowledge, you know, with this sort of that people can understand that there is a conflict, that people can at least just understand, then it's like, cool, okay. Then we can kind of move on from like, okay, yeah, mongoose and snakes, okay, cool, we get that there's something with them, that's like, okay, now we can move on,
you know, don't have to really dive into like, okay, well, you can say there's some history there, and it's like, okay, well, you know, it's like they just move on with that. And it's like, okay. Let's see. So what I want to do with Derpy, I'm kind of bouncing around, but it's kind of how I work anyway. So getting rid of some of this stuff I don't need now. So I can do the same thing where I want to have a loop of her going up and down with her flap. She's kind of stationary here. So what I want to do is do the same thing. And this is going to get annoying. We're going to have to make Derpy fly. So now I can go inside of here and I have this own new timeline. Suppose for about a second here. So I have to see how many frames his wing animation is. It's also 12. So I can go out to where this Derpy fly is. Debris. Favorite holiday? I'd say St. Patrick's. Because it's Greenwater Day, you know. I have an excuse to wear green, you know. It's like, and everyone accepts it, you know. It's like, cool, okay. Let's see. So I will get to a frame where the wing is at its lowest point here, and then when it's going back up. So the simplest, when wing go down, body go up, is always the dynamic. So I can kind of figure out how much I want to move her. Add a loop, or classic tween. So now I get this. And I want to make, I think there's some, what was the way to get the, what's this? Well, we'll play with this to see what works. So you can go fast and then slow. Let's ready other way now. So let's do an ease out, so it'll be slow and then fast. But I think actually ease out again might actually work. So we'll get this kind of like whoop wah kind of feel to it, where it kind of speeds up until it gets to the top and then it slows back down. So we get something like this now. Okay. I think for time, I think I'll just kind of skip the rest of the hair and tail moving around. So I can also do the entire character here. But I think I want to move on to the story. Is that eventually we'll get to a point where maybe like 2 seconds in. Looks like Ha's having a moment. Let's see. I will double this up. Okay. So now everything's moving now. Red. Feel free to go to the Borley. Cool. I did not know that. What I wanted was an extra little thing of. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do it. I guess I can sketch it. It's about halfway through. I want a new picture here. I'll just delete it so I can redraw it. Color. It's a little darker. You can see what color this is. Apparently not made a keyframe. Okay. Alright, thank you. So what I want is to quickly have Ice here kind of leave and start to kind of sneak out and be like, I'm just gonna start to, kind of walk out. And then Derpy's here is still kind of like, oh yeah. and like kind of watching him and being like, oh. She'd be like leaving her stick up and be like, oh, wait. ah. And then that can take a bit. New drawing. Just gonna do this real fast. The only cow will be on scene for a little bit. New drawing. And then let's get the first frame so I can see what that looks like. Go back here, and then he'll kind of be pushed back by. She'll be like, I have to stick. New drawing. And then we get back to the beginning. And then we'll go back to here. And then we'll have her fly back. So this will be the end of the loop. We're going to delete that until we get to there. We'll retime that out, but that's what I want, is that just to add a little bit like some sort of story into it. Is that we need to show that there's some sort of conflict to them and to create this little tiny narrative that's like, okay, yeah, you're gonna get back in line and show that Derpy's actually doing something instead of just having this parade, I guess, with them. Because right now it's just it's a parade and you're all just gonna go across. So having something to show that Derpy's actually gonna take charge and be like, oh no, what happens when one of them wants to leave? It's like, no, I just gotta push them back in and then fly back. So I don't know how long that's gonna take to animate, but especially Flash. Excuse me. Let me actually get some water before I start really tackling this. So, how you guys doing? What do we think of the story? Because I can play it a couple times. So, yeah, let's see. There's water. Wow. I don't know if I'll go for 3 hours or 2 hours. I'll just kind of show like the gist of this for a bit. Get the layout. So we're essentially just gotta get these poses, get the storyboard poses in, and then see from there. Because what I want to do is probably make a bunch of physics and like do all these other stuff and like get expressions, and so it's like that'll take a while. I think if I get Ka super correct, I might have that actually go pretty good. So I don't think Ka's gonna do much animation, so I can actually kind of get her going, and then that might actually be good. So Ka, hair, neck, loop. I think it's 12. Maybe this dirt simple here. Ugh. So
now I got this. Can do the same thing here. What's it? Hair, top, loop. Put that down. Okay. That. What I could do is offset it by 2 frames, so we get something like that instead. So a little bit, and it's hard to tell, but I guess I'll know that's there. So yeah, it'll add a little bit into it. Cool. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Moving the storyboard. Add some distance between them. Don't want her to go off stage, but it should work. Okay. It's probably also good to get the background set up as well. Let's just do that real quick. So we'll have like a full picture context of what we got. Okay. Let's see. Hi Sasha, welcome. So I'll have. Do you want to do it on one symbol or have it about? Can I have folders in here? Yeah. Okay. Forgot about that. So I can have the BK folder and have the sky. Should probably want this to be. Had to think of how I can export as well. Now, do I want gradients? There's gonna be some sort of gradients. I could probably just export it as pictures, but that's gonna be like a couple hundred. At least I can make it a little bit brighter. So I'll have the sky. Kind of build it up from that. So I can draw a nice. Okay. I can see. Okay. So even though if I closed it, I think it became a drawn object. So it means that I have to break it apart so I can actually now do this. And sometimes it gets set to object drawing mode instead of making it into a shape. So it's like, great. Hi guys, welcome. Hi Cookie. I don't know what this is, I'm just gonna delete it. I can show what I got so far. I'm working on the background right now. Let's see. Just watching a movie. Oh, fun. I got advance tickets to the Mario movie. And at my theater, I got a poster, so that was fun. The poster says Mario Day on it. And hello, Oof. Welcome. Hi, loud music. Working on the animation here. Right now, I'm working on the clouds. So what I can do is make a cloud object here, and then have it go off the stage. But what's gonna be fun is I can duplicate this cloud over a certain amount, and then if it goes to the same position, I can figure out what that looks like. Go to the end here, and then line this up
if I get it close, it'll look like it's one cloud here. So let's see. So I want it here. Actually, I want it up here, which means that this needs to be up. Can't really see. Okay. But if I set this to be real slow now, I'll figure out how long the real animation is and then time that out to be there. But for now, I can get some rolling clouds. Yay! Okay, clouds. Let's get the ground. Oh, nee. Let me get a circle. Cookie, have you used Flash much? Or has it just been like the 2D drawing ones like Clip Studio Paints and all those? If you use Flash Animate? I don't think I remember if you said that or not. Bright, fun grass might be good here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because I've most of the stream has been me griping on how not how I've been using Toon Boom for so long that going back into here is like remembering an old bad friend, like a friend you're like, I'm not really that happy with you anymore or something. It's like, yeah, jeez. So yeah, just wondering again to see if we can share some shared experiences there. We had 2 lectures in Flash, so you know the very, very basics, but probably like it's been so long now. You don't quite remember. Let's see here. So now we're kind of opposites where I've only really used Flash and haven't really used TV Paint, so I'm not really sure. Yeah, pretty much. Alright. What TV Paint's about. I can do the same thing. Or now I can do orange, ground, spin. Like this. Actually, I think this is, what is this? This is a graphic, good. Okay. So now I can do, I think there's a way to have it spin. Or I think what I usually do is 2 keyframes, 1 in the middle, 1 at the end, and then I try and see what I'm doing here. Why don't you rotate this way? So here, rotate it about 180, and then have this one rotate this way about, and then see if that worked. It's doing its job, but I'll probably have to like really clean it up, but it should be spinning slowly. All the way around, I guess. So now we got this. Unfortunately, I have to like squish this down to see what it's actually going to export as, what the canvas size is. The full resolution is going to be this. But now we got this. Yeah. I'm saying hello. There we go. Yeah. So I could have different layers inside of here as well. What would I have to do? I can't really do it on a parallax layer, in that I can have separate layers that kind of move slower based on its position farther away or closer to the camera. But I could probably just draw in like some clouds and then have it rotate it around or something. The snake horses. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier of like how my original inspiration was just a general idea of mongooses versus snakes. I was like, I want to do something that people hopefully have some knowledge of that. You know, I was just banking on that people would know that the, you know, Rikki Tikki Tabi, you know, kind of style of characters. I understand that there's some sort of history with the I'll clean this up with those characters, to know that there's some history between them. So it's going off on that. I want to just draw this, but I know that I will have. Oh, I can do it from the inside. Ooh, this will be fun. Okay. Let me get a different color. And then I will draw my mountain range from the center and then have just change colors later. This is weird. Okay. Ah! That's not what I want. No, I lost it. Okay. Sort of have to do this one stroke, I don't know. Eh? Oh. Hey, still got it. Okay. Oh, I was drawing on the wrong layer. Oh no, my circle layer. Oh no. That's actually worse. Oh no, I can't really fix that. Oh no. I have to delete it. Okay. Important to be on the right layer. Fortunately, again with Toon Boom, I'd be able to know what layer I was using a little easier. So, oh well. I'll just try and do this again. Yeah, with Toon Boom, I'd be able to say like, okay, I would have a much more easier grasp on what layer. There's no way to like draw on the wrong layer if you use the drawing mode, solo mode, and then on what sub layer you're using. So it's just Flash. Just Flash things. There we go. Whee! It's been. Yeah. If it's too complicated, maybe you can say it in like the Discord or something. Yeah, obviously, it'd be up to me whether or not I would want to do it. Because I'm gonna be busy with finishing up the game. The game is gonna be my most important priority right now. Finishing Sunny's stream. So if it's too much, then yeah. Let's see. So I got this. If I want to slow this world down. Slow down, world. Can't have it too slow because I need to make sure that it needs to be about the same. This timeline needs to be the same as the timeline of the animation itself. So if I have it too long, then I would have to make the animation more long, I guess. So instead of this being like 3.5 seconds, it needs to be that 10 seconds that I had. But I don't know if that's gonna work now. Yep. Well, at least this is working pretty well. I'm liking this. And now I can always go back into any of these components
and be like, oh, I want this color to be, you know, more transparent and, you know, look a certain way now. Now that I got a lot of this set up, now I can really dive into figure this out. Yeah, let me play it so I can read what you got. Yep, okay. Specific, and every 5 seconds we switch between one of the music tracks from the stream, and she changes the content to reflect the tone. It's like, ah, okay. Yeah, and the fun part is that I can record that live, you know, when I have to actually animate that. Yeah. It's when the classical music started after the jazz tune with the image in my head. Oh, cool. Interesting. Yeah, the only thing would be to make the costumes, and would take a while. And then you could have like different filters, like a sepia tone filter or something to kind of go with the tone of it as well. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, again, I'm not sure if I'll be able to really act upon that, you know, right now or anything. Or even, yeah. Emergency idea, yeah. Be a nice short, I guess. Or I could like split it up between different songs and have her just dance to like one song, and then I could have time to then make each costume, you know, distinct or something, rather than try to fit 10 different ones in one video. Let's see. Let's go back to my storyboard. So we're running, Ice leaves, and then Derpy pokes her with a stick back into place, and then she flies back into her position. So now I got all this going on. But that's why we put it into a folder. So if I want to, I can put these into the folder, and now I can close this. This is like my kind of like toggle switch that if I need to turn all the background on and off, I can do that now. I can lock everything in the background so I don't have to touch, can't touch any of the background pieces now. I can only touch the characters now. Otherwise, if it was just split up like this or like a different, as one symbol, I would still have to kind of play with that. Maybe get some more juice actually. 1 second. Alright. It's apple juice. It's kind of sticky. Alright. So, let's see. Let me get anchor point here. I'm gonna animate. Early just try to get the poses for Ice to start to walk off. And of course, I'll just render this. So at least I can try and get the gist of this. So he zooms out. Is this not there? Okay. Guess I could just have a keyframe of him here, and then have him walk off. Yeah, there we go. Instead of the. Kind of rotate them a little bit too, if I can do that. Sometimes I have to like turn off the magnet, so I can actually rotate them a little bit smaller degrees. Because with the magnet on, it actually tries to lock it into certain positions. It's actually a little bit harder, so I gotta like turn off the magnet so I can actually get intermediate positions here. Okay. Should I give like Derpy another costume? I just thought of having her given like a beard or something. I was trying to make it be somewhat generic, but it's like I probably have to show that she's at least something. So I'm not sure what I should add. What do you guys think?
that she just kind of wears like a green shirt, and then that's kind of as far as I thought. I wasn't gonna go like a full on like an entire St. Patrick costume or anything like that, but just kind of be like something like this. Can't see, so I can get my background toggle. Let me get a character toggle as well, so I can put these characters all into characters, into a folder, so I can turn these guys off too. It's because sometimes I just really need to see the storyboards here. So right here, Derpy freaks out, so I can get that going. It's about halfway. We can get some sort of wah expression on her, going wah. We can get her flying off. And then you. That's actually not too bad. You. We can probably slow this down by about 4 frames. Which kind of slows down. So let's add a ease in cubic. I think because she starts at that position. So let's remove that keyframe. I don't know why I keep doing that. We're trying to move her first and then shoot. Whoa. Shoot. And then let's give it some time here. So a lot of the action is going to be in this little section. But Shamrock in here. Okay. If I open my Derpy VTube puppet file, I might be able to open that. Or I guess I could just draw it right now. Put it behind your ear, the ear below, and then green. So it's basically just a circle, please. Where did my green go? I can get this color. Let's see. So it's that plus a shape here. I think my music might have stopped. There we go. I can duplicate that. I'm looking at my own VTube to see how I drew it. Wee. I just need to fill that in. This is not the best, but you only really see like a little bit of it. Hide the hat. Okay. Sham rock. And done. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go back here. And the fun part is with puppets is that means if I draw it once inside of the puppet, I'm able to have it consistently in the same spot and drawing and shape and everything for every frame, unless I delete it, of course. But we got to do this frame by frame. I would have had to literally redraw on it every single frame because the head herself or like some other drawings might have been redrawn from scratch, so I would have to like realign it and then shift and trace and do a whole bunch of fun stuff. to set that back up. So I am glad that I am using puppets here. I know people would say like, oh, puppets are, you know, they take the real, you know, essence of animation out. It's like, oh, you're just using, you know, reusing poses and like doing all this technology version of, you know, animation. It's not real animation where you draw it out and redraw it over and over. But it's like, you know, if it means that it gets done, you know, it's like, who cares? I'm able to actually get this, you know, animation complete in the way that I want it to, then it's like, yeah, I'm okay with doing all these crazy systems. I mean, I love all these crazy systems anyway. I kind of, you know, I basically grew up with these systems, the way that I started animating. So it's never been like anything weird for me to be like, oh no, should I learn frame by frame? Yes, but if it becomes, you know, like, if I don't learn it, then that means that I'm not an animator, and it's like, well, that's wrong. But I think I would say, like, learn frame by frame enough that you can focus on, like, elemental animation, like fire and water, because you can't really puppet stuff like that. Because they're so, like, you know, physics-based, and like it morphs and like changes the shape so much that's like it's actually then harder to make a puppet version of fire animation. You can make like a little loop, but you can't really, you know, have that one drawing of a flame, you know, consistent, because you don't want consistency in, you know, elemental animation. So I would say something like that you would probably want to learn frame by frame to learn. And there's a bunch of books on elemental animation, so you start to look up those kinds of books. But for like character animation, I'm okay with sticking to puppets here. Apparently the show itself thinks that it's okay to use puppets because G4 and maybe Tired Tail would use character puppets. So again, there's a really good YouTube video that literally shows a Hasbro worker animator showing off the rigs for Pony Life that were made in Toon Boom, and I was like, yes. Thank you. Nish shows me everything I needed to know. Okay, so I'm getting her pose here. Change her poses there. Probably want her have her on top. And then a new pose for nice. Probably that does. I was just gonna keep it like there for now. So we'll have the frame here, the time here, to get them back into their positions. We can almost just kind of reuse the same position here. Copy, paste. Yes, I flipped it later, so that makes sense. Okay, so I've swapped in keyframes, which means it sets it back to keyframe frame 1. So I need to set it back to the timeline number, which is 107. It looks like he doesn't have that many frames, so that's okay. I have to reset that then. Okay. Ease out, cubic. Probably want to make that a lot slower. Or have them be closer to on screen, which is a nice little fun thing. That if they're off screen, it's like they're, you know, in a play, it's like they're off screen here, but I can get them closer to where they were when they finished their animation of like being off here, because I can have them be way off here to get that speed. But if I need to come back, it's like I need to have them be closer, so it's actually a little bit less of a distance for him to actually get to where I want him to. It's poking eye. Okay, well I was just going for like a forehead, you know, kind of poke, but I feel like that might be a bit much. Like he was gonna have like his eyes closed and be like being pushed back, and Derpy's kind of like determined to be like no. What I probably would want to do as well is maybe have some sort of camera, or kind of have everything here be a little bit to the left. So I want to have a bit more show of this. Show Derpy a little bit more. But he's going to go here, so I kind of have to... Oh, I can do an overshoot instead. And have Derpy push eyes further into the screen. And then have... Yeah, I can do this. Push them all the way out, and then have the time here to then have Ice go back to his original position here, to have him walk back here. And then this will take his entire time back to reset, and then have another keyframe of Derpy to get her back into her position. And instead we'll have her kind of go back up, and then we'll have some sort of flip to then have her be in this position. So we'll have this here, and then delete these frames. And then have a keyframe in the middle of here, where she is like that. Okay, we'll see how that looks. Hi Cintiq, welcome. Obviously I didn't keyframe every single keyframe yet, but that gets us back to our starting points. And then, yeah, I'll just kind of keyframe a little bit more to make sure that everything's set up right. So, not too bad. Okay. So, what I would do now is, you know, go through and maybe see if there's anything I can do with Ka here, the orange one. Maybe there might be some expressions here, or see there. Obviously, a lot of expression on Derpy would be nice. Have her have a little shock face or something. I could do that real quick. So I probably want to end pretty soon. I don't think I'm gonna do. I'm probably just gonna do like a 2-hour stream today. So let's just get like a shock and then have her reset. So for here, we'll go into this pose here. Looks like I'm inside of the head. Gotta really drill in here to get what I need. So I can show that I have all these different frames of her mouth. And so I want like an all kind of mouth. So I can go into my, everything there was in smiles, and now I can get to frowns. So I can ever open her mouth and go, wah! So I'm gonna have it be some sort of in between here. Have her kind of open her mouth, going mwah, mwah. So that should open her mouth there. Ah. That should lift her up and then go down a little. Ah. Ah. And then as she zips here, she will change her expression to back to an upset, and then I can play for eyebrows. Here's your these tiny little literal invisible shapes here. So there's actually a little tiny circle that has 0 fill, or an invisible fill with no alpha. So it's like an invisible shape, but I just know where it is, like all these different pieces here. I think it's somewhere around here. Yeah, so here's this one, and then cheeks here. So it's been a bit, but I think I remember where everything is. I can kind of go into these positions here. So I got these invisible eyebrows that can kind of just pop into existence here to change her expression. Ah. And then swap back. So right about here, there's a little bit of not moving I want to do. Let's move the keyframe here until here. And then about here, we'll swap. Let's see. Maybe about here she can swap to her default happy position. Or let's play with the eyebrows. Let's try and do something like that. So she kind of swaps to like a little bit of like, alright, gotcha. Swap back, blink, and then revert to normal. So that's just a quick way to change her expression to here. It kind of glitches near the end, but I think you get the gist of like how, you know, that's gonna work. So there we go. Whew. So just again, just go down to spending way more time on it, add some more stuff onto it, make sure everything's cleaned up as I go. But yeah, so what I'll do is, yeah, continue to work on this. I will upload it on the 17th, so I'll have plenty of time to finish this, but half of it is already done now, so that's happy. Happy for all this now that everything's going pretty good. Now just gonna be filling in the gaps that I got left to do here. So it's just gonna be a lot more time to spend on to make sure everything's good to go. But I'm pretty happy with all this right now. So it's pretty timed out pretty good actually. So we'll see. Usually it's better to like slow things down than to speed things up. I find that my storyboards are like really fast when I time them out initially. And then by the end, the timeline has been like 2 to 3 times longer because I want more time to like really show that everything's happening. I feel like that's an important point because I feel beginner animators
either make things, your motions way too slow and exaggerated, or really, really fast, because they don't understand more natural timing and things. And it comes from experience and just playing around and really analyzing your work and other people's work and like nature and everything else. Like when you move your hands, how fast you really move them, you know. So there's ways to, you know, analyze it to make sure that you're doing okay. So I'm watching this and it's like, this is not too bad, but I'm sure as I continue, I'll make things maybe a little bit slower. What I would change here is that it's actually pretty good. Obviously, I don't have the ending of her flipping around. I think that's okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. I might only change it by a little bit, but you saw the original sword mode was only like 2 seconds long, and now it's like, I don't know, like 6-7 seconds. So this will probably be roughly 10 seconds or so, maybe, if I wanted to really get things going. Just adds a little bit more time to like for the beginning, make sure there's enough time for people to understand what's going on before. Important thing is make sure that you establish like the premise before switching it up, because I want to have enough time to make sure that you understand like they're on this parade and then something changes. So even like maybe like one or like even like a half more loop of them just running, just like right here before he runs off will probably be what I would change the most here. And obviously change all the backgrounds, make sure everything's loops ready, but I would have to know the final time before I can, how many frames I have before I can change the background and all that. So, but otherwise, let's see. QTD makes mix. Fortunately, I've actually already answered that earlier in the stream. I kind of talked. It took a long time to explain it. Quick answer. I wanted something for the movie to be interesting. Make sure that it's, you know, I just didn't wanted to expand it to be much more interesting than just to deliver letter for the movie. I was like, okay, maybe she needs to go to a different continent. So like, okay, let me try and make some characters that can fit in this different continent. And then I thought of like mongooses versus snakes as a natural predator to make it simple for the audience to understand that there's, you know, I can get past the thing of people not knowing like a bunch of different weird characters without motives and without dialogue. It's hard to explain that. So if I have like some sort of grounded reality of like history of like mongooses versus snakes as natural predators, I can at least get past that point so that people can understand like, okay, yeah, there is something towards these characters that I can even kind of subconsciously know about them before really having to explain much about it, so we can just get to the point of like telling a story rather than trying to explain the point of how these characters are at war with each other kind of thing. So yeah. That's it. Whew. Let's go to Toasted Time. So yeah, I will finish this in the meantime. But yeah. Thanks guys for watching this. Alright. You love them, thank you. I don't know if they're my favorite creation, but I definitely had to spend the most time with them for the movie. Let's see. I can show off the game real quick. That's also something I can show here. Let me load that up. So I'm trying to finish this as well. So I got a lot of stuff on my plate. So when Cookie was like, "Hey, can you do this other animation?" Or like, "Here's an idea for it," I was like, "Uh huh." Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's see. What did I really change? I guess I really I'm trying to think. Like, I really changed. Oh, I can show Hitch's animation at the end. Let me show that real quick. Okay, so this is the current build of the game. Let's see. So unfortunately, I really worked on like some later parts of this conversation. I just wanted to show like to say like, look, I did this. Let's see.
Can't get to it. Is it after? Oh, you added this. There we go. Yeah, okay. I kind of skipped like right past it. So you've seen that, but this should be new. Let's see. How did you work your voices? I explained that in my audio and more stream. I'm sorry, Seth, a lot of this is really asked questions. If you have to go, thank you guys so much. Next week we'll do something completely different. We'll play Mario Odyssey. So we'll play back half, where I'm like halfway into the game, and so we'll continue from wherever I left off a couple years ago. So thank you guys. If you have to leave, thank you. But I'm gonna show this for a little bit more, and then I'll sign out. So thank you. Let's see. So I animated this. Yeah, I go into gross depth of the audio in that last stream. So, but to paraphrase, I took snippets of the real audio show, Make Your Mark in the New Generation movie, took some clips of that, and then really just went in there and just really surgery play with the audio, and got some interesting little clips out of it. Not the cabbages. Oh. So this is new. Check that out. I got a crab. So yeah, I kind of rigged up an entire crab puppet, and with like every single point was like created and is able to be animated. Like is, you know, every joint on this crab is like defined and like can be moved around. And yeah, it's only there for like 10 frames and you only see it for about 2 seconds, but that's a fully animatable crab. Thanks 50 and Seti. So I did this too with the bird that's in one of these other sections, where like I created this entire rig for this bird that I can completely animate it, and yeah, you only see it for like this little bit here. There it goes. Yeah. So these are all new. I think I did this one, but not this one yet, or at least that bottom one's not complete yet, but it's got some stuff there. Oh yeah, that was it. Oh yeah, here's also a little bit more. Spirits of Earth Pony Magic. We'll do one better. It's got a little glowy hoof. Check that out. That actually took forever to like figure out the math to get him to stop at the right. Because I wanted to like just have the pictures of him with his arm up and down, but then in Ren'Py moved him up and down his entire body. So trying to figure out the timing of it was that took actually like a long time. So yeah. Bye bye. Yay. And then it disappeared. So that's what I've been doing this week. We got that little section there with the cabbages up to then, and a little bit more with the other section that's not complete yet. And I got the audio channels to be set up. So we'll see. I think I probably got like probably only have like 2 or 3 more Hitch pictures, and then I have Luna to do, and then I have the endings and some gallery pictures, and then all the sound effects, and then some cleanup in some places I might see. There's probably a whole bunch of programming errors. So I hope to finish all of that by next week. So hopefully I'll have a demo. Let me get a calendar. Let's say around the 19th, I'll try and get a demo out. Based on either where level I'll be. I'll probably not complete it by then, but at least it'll be in a decent enough point that you can probably finish the game. And so by the 19th I'll have, is what I'm hoping for. We'll see. Might be later. I don't know. I do want to finish this at some point. So I'm trying my best.
It's really not that much more work, because I've been going back and forth between art and programming, so a lot of the program is actually pretty more complete than I think. So, which means, yeah, just a little bit more, just little final stretch of a lot of little projects, little sections here and there. So, programming projects, sections, whole thing's fun. Anyway, yeah. So when I'm ready for the demo, I'll let you guys know in the Discord. I'll have a link again to the demo. Please play it, and then give me your feedback, like we did last time a couple months ago. It's been so long. Yeah, give me your feedback, good and bad. Anything that's, anything that's a miss, please let me know so I can attend to it. But again, I can't really fix things that are more than, hey, this text box is, misaligned or spelled wrong. Again, if you guys want like Twilight Sparkle, it's like I'm not gonna, I've already spent like 4 months in this, so I don't want to add that much more work on top of it. So it'll just be, if the cloud is falling apart or fell or something in your game, it's like let me know if there are weird glitches and stuff. So I can probably attend to that better than creating new content. It's gonna be too hard. Especially at this point, it's pretty much, I feel mentally locked in to what I have right now. So, yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, the plan is, I guess timeline-wise, I'll get the St. Patrick's this video complete, so you guys can watch it by next Friday, I think. And then we'll have the Mario Odyssey stream Saturday. And then we'll probably just do that for the next couple months. We'll see how long that takes. I don't know if we'll do an hour or two of that. Especially my guest isn't able to sit down for that long, I guess. If they're gonna get tired. So, but yeah, that'll be the next stream. Will be that one, and then we'll see from there. If we finish Mario Odyssey, then I'll see what else we can do. But yeah, it'll probably take like, I would guess, like maybe 2 to 3 more months if we do it each week. So yeah, hang in there. These back halves might take a while. But if I just play it on my own, I might be able to do a longer stream, and then I might be able to do it a little bit faster or pay attention to the game a little bit more. We're to try to also entertain my guests as well. So, but yeah, that's where we are. So, hope you guys had fun with this stream. With me, really, giving Flash a new one there. But yeah, thank you guys. All right, I will be less upset. There we go. I will see you guys then. So happy St. Patrick's Day early. And then, yeah, look out for this. I'll post it on my Twitter and maybe as a YouTube short later on. That's why I have this as a, oh, you can't see it, as a vertical video, because I want it as a short. The shorts are fun. They're doing okay. They're doing better than I thought. I thought I'd be getting like 10 views, but I get like 100 or so. So I was like, that's pretty good. So thank you guys for watching those. So yeah, please watch this when it's complete. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for saying bye to you guys too. Thank you. All right, bye everyone. See you next week.